This will be the final module. We're going to mainly go over a lot of the resources. Let's go. So where to find help with SQL Server. Obviously, you can go to the Microsoft documentation. You can go to the Microsoft community. You can go to Stack Overflow, which is very helpful. SQL Server Central, Past Data Community. They have awesome conferences. And SQL Saturday Community, where they have a lot of smaller conferences. Lo and behold, on a Saturday. A lot of them are right around the larger cities. So if you have a larger city, you might look up to see if there's a SQL Saturday near you. And if there's not, then maybe you have a knack and you want to start up a SQL Saturday. Recommended blogs and websites. SQL Server blog, Brent Ozar Unlimited. He's probably one of the most popular. SQL Skills, MSSQL Tips, Darling Data. That's Eric Darling. SQL Authority with Pinal Dave. All these are awesome areas, and if you've ever had an issue with SQL Server, I guarantee you've ran across one of those websites or blogs in the past. A lot of them also have corresponding YouTube channels as well. Some of the best scripts for maintenance and troubleshooting. I'll show this in a few minutes, but we've got Ola Hollengraf's SQL Server maintenance solution. Here's the link for it. SP Who is Active. I already showed that in an earlier video, but this is probably one of the most popular scripts that you could run in a SQL Server, just because how useful it is, especially when you're trying to troubleshoot some kind of live issue. Then you've got SP Blitz. This is from Brent Ozar's kit. I can't remember what it's called. First responders kit. Yeah, that's it. And it has a few different blitz type. What are they? Executables or stored procedures, and they do different things. Blitz is more of an overall uh, check for your SQL Server, and it'll give you all kinds of information. We'll look at it in a minute, but it'll also give you. You also got Blitz First, which is more of a subsidiary, or I guess a smaller list of things. They've got all kinds of extra things you can add on to narrow down. You can do Blitz Cache to figure out what's in your cache and maybe your worst performing SQL Server query. Then you can also look at, let's see, Blitz indexes for indexes that your SQL Server might want. There's just a whole bunch of them, and you'll be able to look at more in depth on stuff that you might want from them. And then there's also free monitoring tools like Observer. This is from Stack Overflow. They run this for off of their SQL Server, and it's pretty awesome. I cannot say enough things about it. All of these are really, really popular for the open source community. Ola Hollengren, I'm sure he's saved so many people headaches. And then we've got SP Who is Active, Adam Mechanic, and Brent Ozar, and then the community that worked on the ops server. Let's go to the next one, and we're going to go to the demo. All right. So I've got a few. Let's exit out those ones. That was for another one. Okay, here's SP Who is Active. If you've ever had any issues, you can see this is basically what's going to pull back. The SP Who is Active will show if there's any blocking right here, you can see this session. It's easy peasy. Let's go look over at Ola Hollengren's maintenance solution. Excuse me. You can see that it's actually created a whole bunch of jobs, database backup system databases. It's got the user databases, all these backups, and it's got the database integrity checks. Awesome. Uh, Integrity check for the user databases and the system databases broken up. It's got index optimization, which basically goes and reorganizes or rebuilds the index depending on the thresholds you set. And I mean, all of these are really good, especially for beginners. And then you can always kind of tune them because their code is right here. It's going to say, hey, execute database backup. It's going to give you the options to run through here. You can always, if you have a better idea, you can always run over to the store procedure and change that up, but probably don't need to. It's probably got more than enough for most people. uh, let's see. We've also got the who is active. I've already shown that. And then we've got the Brent Ozar scripts right here. Uh, let's show where they are. So this is GitHub where Adam Mechanic keeps SP who is active. We basically got, you can download the newest version of it, and you can read about anything you might want to see from Adam Mechanic on SP who is active, or I think he's got a website that he's also got. Just go over here to the source code, and I just downloaded it. I downloaded the maintenance solution right here. This script creates all the objects and jobs that you need. So most of these store procedures, and it's gonna give you the rundown of what this includes. I've already showed you the jobs, but there's a lot more objects that are probably associated with those jobs. And here is for, what was it? Yeah, the Brent Ozar ones. So if you want to go there, go to brentozar.com. It'll ask you get your scripts, basically run down and get the responder kit. Then let's see if it's over here. Health check instance. Yeah. And then you'll get the free responder kit, and you'll have to put in your email or make up one, I guess. But and then it'll send you over here, download it, and then once you're downloaded over here, um, you can go ahead and run this, and it runs a bunch of different ones. This is actually called install all scripts. It's got SP all night log. So some of these are actually for logging all the time. These are for more important, uh, probably right before your engagement, especially if you're a performance tuner. You might want to log all the issues. Then you've also got your database restores. What else is it? Let's see, do we have SP underscore blitz? Yeah, so we've got blitz. Let's see, you got the first, you got blitz first, you got blitz index, blitz lock, blitz query store, blitz who, which is very similar to Adam Mechanics who2. I think it's a little bit more intensive. Adam Mechanics, I think I've heard Brent say that his is tuned within an inch of its life, and this one is a bit more resource intensive. And let's see, Yeah, so let's go ahead and demo some of the different ones. We've got who is active. That's what's going on. Uh, Nothing's there. Let's run a quick blitz. And this may take a second. Sometimes they include a default time where it's going to say, hey, I need to check to see if everything's done. And I think it may collect a little bit, so it's going to go through and it's going to give you a bunch of information on it. Say, hey, this hasn't been backed up. Last DBCC check is over this time. Let's see. You may see some performance stuff. Objects created with the dangerous set options. Uh, Trace flags are on. Agent jobs. All kinds of good stuff. Let's do first. Yeah, and you'll see a more, I guess, an easier thing to see if there's any, hey, these are red flag type situations. I believe in his training, he mentioned that if you want to consult with him, he's usually going to have you send back the results of this, make sure there's nothing going on. He may have you send results from a few other things, but this is a pretty good area to kind of gauge if you have any issues. It's going to give you the batch request per second, 50. It's going to say your wait times. Let's see, where's the waits? I'm not even seeing any waits over here, probably because this is a test. Let's see. So we got Blitz Cache. This one's a very useful one, especially if you're performance tuning. You want to make sure that you can see what your most resource intensive queries are. So this one happened to be here. Uh, you may be able to get the query plans. I think if you go all the way over here, you should be able to find some of the, where's it at? If you actually have cache parameters, you can go over here and grab these parameters out, and then you can plug them back into here. So a lot of times, if you do have a variable, then you want to make sure that you push those variables, keep this as permanent of a plan as possible. And if you change it to set age 25 and then that's probably, especially on a select statement, if you have it changing all the time, you're going to have a million different plans. You want to make sure that you have one plan that's inside of memory and then maybe different variables that get passed through. That way, whenever it creates a query plan, it's going to be the most efficient one, or at least the most consistent possible. You're not seeing a bunch of things going crazy. We'll look at the query plan for this. You can see it's showing the first part, begin transaction, and then it's going to show you the, the update. Here's the clustered index scan to get the data. It's going to go through clustered index, and it's going to push everything through that clustered index, which is basically the table, and then it's going to do the update. Uh, let's see what else we're missing. Oh, uh, Observer. Observer was what I mentioned. It's an awesome tool. I couldn't get it to run properly, so I'm just going to show a picture of what it supposedly what it looks like. And I have it running on another server of mine, but sometimes I have issues getting it to run. But okay, let's go back. So basically, you can see that this is the main page. You can drill down into your nodes. Um, After you drill down into them, you'll see you've got different options. You don't have to just use SQL Server, but you can go into SQL. You can look at the databases. You can look at the memory, all kinds of information from here. This is pretty good information. But the one thing that I've always had issues with, and maybe in a newer release they'll have it, but is storing historical data. But for live data, it's awesome dashboard to run through, and especially if you have a whole bunch of different SQL servers, or I guess Redis, or other types of things that this supports, you might want to be able to jump through. But let's see, am I missing anything over here? See, we've got the Ola Hollengren. We've got SP who is active. We ran through the SP Blitz. There's, as I mentioned, there's a bunch of different ones inside of there, but SP Blitz is the most popular, and it's kind of the prefix for all of the sub, I guess, stored procedures that he has, like cache and index and so on. And then we've got our free monitoring tool, Observer. All these are free, and you might want to use those until you can afford something like SolarWinds or whatever else is out there. And that concludes this course. So thank you for taking this class. I really do appreciate your time, and please contact me with any questions or suggestions you have to make this course better. And don't forget to leave a review.